Ooh, back again. What's going on, people? Back in with another video. Today we're talking Fury press conference. Not Fury versus Usyk press conference. I'm just going to say Fury press conference. It's going to be a quick one today, but let's talk about it. Like, share, subscribe, comment below your thoughts. Thank you for everyone who has liked the other video and commented and seen little kind of debates going on below the last video. Loving that. Keep the debates going. Some of the stuff has changed my mind. I'm not here to be like, this is my thoughts and that's it. I like hearing different perspectives. But big up yourselves anyway. So we're going to talk about this kind of weird press conference that's come out of nowhere. Now, it seems a little bit obvious as to why it's happening. It's a bit of a PR campaign. I think it's quite smart from Fury's side. Now, obviously, everything's to sell the fight anyway. It's going to make them more money in the long run, so big ups. But you can see there's a little bit of a PR campaign. I think he can kind of feel that the general public or the boxing public's view of him and perception of him has kind of changed. Maybe the management have seen it as well. The kind of the chatter online and people seeing, you know, what they're starting to see. I think it's kind of changed and they're realizing that and be like, we need to kind of spin this a little bit. You know, we saw a lot of the change happen around when Fury pulled out for the second, third, who knows time, when he got the cut in February. And then we're seeing, you know, after the Ngannou fight with AJ, or Ngannou fight with Fury first, then the Ngannou fight with AJ, we're seeing people kind of start to switch a little bit and kind of start to see through a few, I don't want to say lies, but yeah, come the lies that Fury has told, or kind of, let's say, extensions of the truth. It was a bit of a weird one. There was a lot of kind of putting down Usyk, but at the same time bigging him up. So it was a real strange conversation, real strange kind of press conference. There was some good stuff in there. I will try and splice some stuff in here and there. I saw Fury talking about Usyk's promoters and managers and seeming that they're on a bit of a better relationship now. You know, I know that Igor said a few things that I don't think he should have said when Fury got that cut. And it seems like they've pieced things up a little bit now and they're starting to kind of, I don't know, it seems a little bit more civil now, which is a good thing. You know, and some points Fury will be putting down Usyk and still saying he's just a blown up cruiserweight. There was a lot of talk about every time a good cruiserweight's come up against a great heavyweight that they've come up short, and it has been true in most cases. You know, the probably exception to that rule will be the greatest cruiserweight at the moment, or I think, or possibly, yeah, I'll call him the greatest until Usyk does what he needs to do. But Evander Holyfield is the exception to that rule. You know, he came up to the heavyweights and had some great fights. Yes, Riddick Bowe, like, lost 2-1, I believe it was, if I remember correctly. Obviously, he came up short against Lennox Lewis, got his ear bitten off against Mike Tyson. But, you know, Evander Holyfield, the real deal, came up and did what he needed to do. Now, Usyk is a whole different animal, and I don't mean necessarily better or worse, but I personally for me, he is better. He's not a brawler. He's not going to stand there and try and outmuscle and just stand in the ring like Evander did and bam, bam. He is a master boxer. So I think, you know, we have to kind of not look at him with the same lens, you know, still keep certain things in mind. There was a lot of comments on last video about the size difference, and I do think it will be a factor. Like I said, I don't think this will be an easy fight either way. I don't think Fury's going to have an easy fight, and I don't think Usyk's going to have an easy fight. If it happens, I think it's going to be a big shock, you know, but size is a factor, and I think it's not just about the weight, because yes, Fury is dropping weight, but just even in terms of the height. I don't know how many people watching this video box, but I'm a reasonably tall person. I'm 6'4", and I had a fight with someone, and the opponent got announced, I think it was 2 days before, and he was 6'7", and I hated how I fought in that fight. It was difficult just trying to reach his head, you know, and obviously I'm not Usyk, I don't have that type of boxing brain, but it was a big challenge because I'm used to being kind of the taller guy, or maybe I spar some people a little bit taller than me. But the 6'7" was a challenge. Like, I barely hit him in the head. I won the fight still, but it was a challenge. So I think that's going to be a bit more of a challenge for Usyk as well. But he's a very clever boxer, so I believe he'll find a way. Fury said some other things in this PR conference. Let's call it that. He started talking about AJ. Now, I know people will say, oh, you know, why we always bring up AJ, but he's the biggest heavyweight star in boxing, so we have to. It's going to be, and they're rivals, so it's going to happen. So, you know, obviously the media brought up to him, and we got the usual chat.
I just call him a big old useless tosser.
Yeah,
that was it. Big sausage.
I don't know if it's like you couldn't just call Fury a liar, or just don't take much of what he says seriously. Because on the night of the, what was the fight? When AJ fought Ngannou, Fury was the most complimentary I've ever seen him. I've never seen him compliment AJ like that. I remember a couple of times when AJ beat him up in sparring. Some people don't talk about that, but I've never seen him compliment him like that. It seemed very genuine.
Listen, he done absolutely fantastic tonight. He lit him up with the right hand, which was perfect, and knocked him out. That's what a boxer should have done to him.
So he was talking about AJ in a very genuine light, giving him the respect he deserves. But then in this press conference, he said "Osa" again. So it's a bit of a mad one. I think Fury knows the threat that AJ brings and also knows the money that fight would bring as well. So I don't take all of the negative talk really that seriously. Yeah, it was a very strange one. I don't know why it really happened, but it was interesting and good to see that Fury is in shape, and also good to see that Sugar Hill is still in the corner. I do like that. I didn't like the optics of John Fury being the head trainer. It's interesting he still is in camp, which I'm hearing is different. There is an unusual setup, but Sugar Hill is still going to be there as a trainer, and I think that will be very good for him. I think that's a big positive. I think even if they employ slightly different tactics, but with the Kronk style, I think that it could be even more interesting than I thought. If he just tries to come forward and steamroll Usyk, I believe it may not go the right way. But if he uses his boxing knowledge, boxing IQ, and a little bit more movement with the Kronk style, create some sort of hybrid, then yeah, I think we're going to get a very, very good fight. As we get close to the fight, I'll talk a little bit more about it. I'll try and break down some stuff. I do want to break down Fury versus Steve Cunningham and Fury versus Wilder, as I believe those were his best performances. I know, yeah, he beat Klitschko, but it wasn't. I don't believe it was a great fight personally. But and Cunningham wasn't his best performance, but it was a tricky cruiserweight that came up to heavyweight, a smaller guy that gave him some trouble. So I want to break that down. We could break down. I believe we'll try to break down Usyk versus AJ 1 and 2 in that video, and Usyk versus Dubois, because he fought very differently in that fight. He was very aggressive. And I think we may get a little bit of a mix. I think Usyk is now believing in his size and his power up at heavyweight. So those are the things to come up. Next video coming up as well. I want to talk about what's coming up in a week's time. Garcia versus Haney. Jeez, there's a lot of madness going on still, even fight week. It's like Garcia versus Haney versus Kanye West. What I'm talking about, you'll see in the next video. Like, share, comment below, discuss, debate in the comments. Speak soon. Peace.